Okay, let's take you to one of the top stories we're tracking for you this hour, and that is the story of convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester, who is today approaching the High Court in Pretoria. This is to request access to a laptop in order to prepare for his upcoming deportation case. Now, Bester, who is currently facing charges of escaping from the Mangaung Correctional Centre in Bloemfontein in May of 2022, fled to Tanzania with his girlfriend, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana. They were arrested and deported to South Africa. The trial of Bester, Magudumana, and several prison officers accused of helping Bester escape has been set for the 10th of February next year. Chriselda Lewis is our reporter working the story for us and joins us now from Pretoria. So, Chriselda, very good morning to you. Give us a background to this case. We see now Bester wants access to his laptops. Tell us more.
Well, that's right. Convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester is in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. Well, he's brought an application to try and get access to a laptop. What we saw from a statement that was released, he indicated that he needs his laptop to prepare, of course, you would know, for the deportation trial in Bloemfontein. Basically, the statement that was released yesterday indicating that he feels that he would not be able to prepare adequately for his trial on the basis that he does not have access to a laptop. He would need also to submit some of the documents that will be required in court in order for him to defend himself. So what we understand also this morning is that he will not be represented by any legal representative inside this court for this particular application that he has brought. So basically, from what we've seen, you'd recall with the pre-trial conference that had taken place in Bloemfontein, we'd seen on a number of occasions Mr. Thabo Bester basically wanting to address the court about what we understand he says. He says that he does not see that he will receive a fair trial if he's not given access to this laptop in order for him to prepare for his defense. We also understand that he will be making his way to this court in just about a few moments. A few moments ago, I went inside the court where this matter is due to sit, and I do understand that he's not arrived at this particular point. And you'd recall, of course, that the matter involving the issue in Bloemfontein, that's at the High Court in Bloemfontein, that matter will sit regarding Thabo Bester and the other accused in his escape matter in February next year. That is when the trial has been set for. But what we're seeing now is this application that has been brought. He wants access to this laptop, saying that he believes that he needs access to it so that he's able to mount a defense in terms of the deportation case. You'd recall, of course, that Thabo Bester, after he had escaped from the Mangaung prison, he was then found with his girlfriend, Nandipha Magudumana, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, in Tanzania. That's where they had fled to. But I want to bring in very briefly with me here Dinana Reid, who is one of the legal representatives in the trial matter, not in this matter, Mxolisi. I just need to clarify that. They're not representing Thabo Bester in this particular matter, but she's one of the legal representatives in the trial matter. Let's speak to her now. Dinana Reid, thank you very much for agreeing to speak to us. Dinana, talk to us about this application that has been brought by Mr. Thabo Bester.
Good morning to you, Chriselda, and good morning to your listeners. Basically, this application, Mr. Bester has brought it on his own, and it's basically just an interlocutory application because the main application is a deportation application, which is currently before the same court. However, he requires access to laptop, printer, and a modem to be able to respond to these papers properly, since he is doing the whole trial by himself. So our only engagement in this application has just been as far as offering typist services for him, and just to make sure that these documents that he is preparing, they're loaded on Caseline. So you can just see that it's just a device issue. It's not really even on the merits of the entire application, which is the deportation. So, and the reason he's asking these things is that CMEX has a library. CMEX could actually just set up a laptop or a computer with a modem, with a printer, where he's able to do these things himself. They can restrict access to a modem in line with their security protocols to ensure that he only accesses case line and maybe sites where he can do legal research. That's basically that. Or I would even encourage correctional services to extend maybe support from your legal resources center, the legal clinic at universities, wherein they could actually help, not just Thabo Bester, other inmates that are trying to actually fight for their legal freedom in order for them just to be supported, not to be advised, to be supported in terms of resources. And that's basically what he's trying to do today.
Yeah. Is there any indication why he does not want to be represented? I know previously Mr. Bester had raised some concerns in the previous court, that's of course in Bloemfontein, about his conditions. And obviously today he's likely to raise those if he's going to represent himself, because he does feel that he's not set for a free trial, for a proper trial here.
Yes. So from my conversations with him, the deportation, he feels that it's best if the story is told by himself, because he's the one that actually suffered the gruesome deportation into South Africa. So when he's tasked another attorney to actually tell the story, he feels that South Africa would actually not hear him properly. And that's basically what he's trying to do. And also to manage his costs as well, because the trial comes with its own expenses as well, and where the entire team is. So this one, he just felt that at this point in time, he can do it on his own.
Yeah. Ms. Reid, just last question, because I know you cannot speak on this particular matter. You are not representing Mr. Bester in this particular matter. I mean, there are obviously concerns being raised. He is convicted Facebook rapist and murderer. That's, of course, what he was convicted for. And the concern is that perhaps the internet and laptops were used in order to lure these victims. And I'm talking about the matter which he was convicted for now. So that would certainly be the concern. What does Mr. Bester plan to advance? Because the question is, how do you give a laptop to someone who's been convicted of using the very same devices in order to lure his victims? Yeah.
So I guess my question is, when you are a top class and very security averse institution like CMEX, where Mr. Bester has EST securities basically next to him, setting up a desktop, a monitor, with a printer, with all your security protocols. I mean, technology is there. You have children wherein you can limit access. Those things can be achieved. So let's not hide access to legal rights with the fact that Mr. Bester has been sentenced or what. Can we not cloud it? Let's focus on what the issue is access to legal rights and to fight for his case and freedom. That's basically that.
Mr. Dinana Reid, thank you very much. I know that I'm not able to speak to you on other matters because you are not representing Mr. Bester in this matter. So I'm going to respect that here this morning. Thank you very much, Ms. Dinana Reid, who is part of the legal team in the trial matter in Bloemfontein. She's not able to speak much on this particular application that Thabo Bester has brought. He wants access to a laptop. He believes that his rights are being violated because he wants to represent himself. Even in this application, he will be representing himself. And we do understand that he's going to make his way from CMAX in just about any moment now, not too far from here at the Kgosi Mampuru prison. You would know that particular area does have the facility which is holding him. We also understand that in part of that communication which was sent out yesterday, he also advances the argument that, he's detained for 23 hours and he's simply unable to access any of, the equipment in order for him to mount this defense about why he needs a laptop in order for him to prepare for his case. But certainly it'll be very interesting to see what happens here in the High Court in Pretoria this morning, because I think one of the aspects which will be raised while Ms. Reid, Dinana Reid, who's part of the legal team on the trial aside, indicates that we should not be clouding our judgment on the basis that he also has legal rights. I guess one of the issues that's also going to be raised in terms of the questions I asked to Ms. Reid is that, of course, he had been convicted as the Facebook rapist and a murderer, and is believed to have used these tools in order to lure his victims. How he will be able to advance that argument in dealing with that versus the rights that he says he needs in terms of accessing this laptop in order for him to defend himself.
That's Chriselda Lewis watching that story for us. Thanks very much indeed for that update.